At the edge of Guilt City, souls steeped in shadow seek out the light, and all await the arrival of the Night Post.
Yo, Milo. How was the route?
Bad.
How bad?
Bad. How long you got?
Long enough. It's not like I'm rushing home to anybody.
Except for Clementine, huh?
She stayed the night last night, but I think she has other... Never mind.
What is the deal with you two?
It's not important.
And don't say it's not important. I can't keep pretending I don't know anything when people ask. I'm not a good liar, remember?
We're figuring stuff out. And who's been asking, anyway?
Everyone. Even Nick was trying to get details out of me.
Nick? Since when did he start indulging in office gossip about his subordinates?
I guess after deciding he'd best keep a closer eye on us. He didn't sound overly invested, but the curiosity was definitely there. Or, I don't know, maybe it's his version of a case study or something.
Well, the next time someone asks, just invite them to come straight to the source. I'll tell them everything they need to know.
That's one way to get people to stop.
Exactly. But we're talking about you, remember?
It was just one thing after a fucking another. First, my headlight started flickering. Of course it didn't start while I was near enough to the station to circle back. Why would it? It waits until I'm already a few miles out of town. Not like it wasn't already hard enough to keep the van out of a ditch. Keeping my eyes open was the real struggle of the night. Oh, and I had a van full of heavy-ass deliveries. 'Twas truly the icing on the shit cake. I'm beyond exhausted.
Still stressing about Ashley?
Of course. Wouldn't you be? And what little sleep I do get isn't what I'd classify as good.
You obviously have a lot on your mind. Hell, we all do. But don't let it break you down, you know? You gotta take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else, right?
This whole conversation is feeling awfully familiar.
Just don't be as hard-headed as I was, and things will probably turn out fine.
Probably, huh? Sounds like better odds than we've usually got.
Damn right. Sup, Clem? You're back late. Early? You know what I mean.
Busy night. I'm ready to go die in bed.
Same. Want to talk about it?
No, I'll be alright. Oh, I just need to go start this paperwork, or I'll be here till noon.
I already started it for you. Should just need to fill in some of the route-specific stuff, and you're free as a bird.
I'm not convinced that phrase really works for us.
Truth. How about free as a spirit?
Ooh, worse, actually.
I'll workshop it with Nick later. Would be dumb not to utilize the resident thesaurus.
I'm not sure that a thesaurus is... well, it doesn't matter. Thank you, Val. I appreciate it. You holding up okay, Milo?
About as well as you, it looks like.
And how is Ashley?
Fine. And not fine. A little of both, I guess.
I really think you should ask Nick for help.
Because he's been so keen to help us in the past, right? Besides, I'm not in the mood for a lecture right now. And the less the post leadership knows about Ashley, the better.
I can't argue with that, I suppose. How did your parents take it?
I haven't told them.
What is that?
What would I tell them exactly? My husband reappeared and sounds completely different.
You can't keep them locked up forever.
Ashley hasn't really wanted to go anywhere, so that hasn't been an issue yet. He'll let me know when he's ready.
Maybe you could all come visit my place. Oh, I could throw a little party. And I could finally use those fancy decorations I bought because they were on sale. We could even do a bonfire. I need to chop up more wood for that, but...
Exhaustion is no match for a girl on a mission to entertain.
I'll pitch the idea. Can't make any promises, though.
Oh, of course, totally. But be sure to reiterate that it'll be really fun.
I will, don't worry. Sorry for being a downer, y'all. Just have a lot on my mind.
Don't we all? I'm trying to decide if I'm feeling a coffee run after this. Y'all down?
I could go for a bit.
Milo?
I would, but I should probably just get home. I already decided I'll have to take the bus, and who knows how long that'll take.
You're missing out. I sleep so much better with caffeine in me.
That doesn't sound healthy. Or, like, good in any way.
That's what I've been saying.
Well, I won't hold y'all up. Just gonna drop these off and head out.
Good night.
And morning.
Full bus. Gonna be a long ride. Maybe I should finally break in that new notebook. To myself, change isn't always bad. I keep repeating this to myself when I feel anxiety building in my chest, threatening to explode in a flurry of panic and pain and frustration. Becoming a pigeon, especially under such fucked up circumstances, should have sent me free-falling over the edge of sanity. Because you don't just become a pigeon. It's a lethal transfiguration of the person you once were. More than once I thought I'd lose what it means to be Milo. But Clementine and Val seem to know me almost as well as I do. Collapsing in myself, crumbling atom by atom under the weight of a world careening towards chaos. It's a fate I narrowly avoided on several occasions thanks to them. When this all began, I started living every moment with one objective and focus. Find my husband, my lover, my truest friend, and every other trite moniker one could give the man they care for more than even themselves. And when I strayed from my goal and allowed the malevolence of circumstance to spear me clean through, my newfound will and best friends brought me a few steps back from the edge. So, having Ashley back should have made me the happiest man alive. I'm still part of the post, still becoming progressively more knotted into the fabric of the supernatural. But the love of my life is back. I mean, I am happy. A lot happier than I've been since even before he was ripped out of my life. Sharing a mediocre espresso while commenting on the seemingly never-ending rain, or roasting under the summer sun while cheering Ashley on during a baseball game, are the inconsequential moments I'll savor for the rest of our time together. Even though most of his past few weeks back on this plane have been spent asleep, I feel like I could lie beside him forever, watching his eyes flicker lazily behind heavy lids, and the soft rhythm of his heartbeat pulse gently in his pale chest. But is that the existence I want for someone who used to gush with lust for experiencing life? A semi-permanent fugue state isn't a fate I'd wish on anyone. I remind myself every day, every hour, every minute that it'll take more than a few weeks of soft kisses and kindness to mend him. Then I remind myself that he'll likely never be able to communicate how deeply he's been scarred, that he'll never be who he once was. And that makes me sad, irreparably sad. Sometimes I let myself slip so far into the singular emotion that it's nauseating. It happened last night on my route. The rattling of the van over pitted gravel roads lulled me into dropping my guard. I wanted nothing more than to pull over and stumble as deep into the skelter as my aching body would take me. Wherever I fell, I'd stay. The kudzu would swaddle me and the soil would mold to my body, drawing me down into the ground where I'd sleep, content, until the last sunset washes over the earth. But I made it back to the station, and here I am. This bus has rumbled through the quiet morning streets in the neighborhoods near my own for far too long, and I'm just ready to be home. I hope that I can read my own handwriting at the end of this. All I have is a pen, obviously, and I've had to scribble out 100 little spelling mistakes and frequent little fuck-ups from poorly timed potholes, and a bus that sorely needs better suspension. I might even decide to destroy what I've written after a long sleep. Ashley would hurt even more if he knew how I've tortured myself over him these past few months. Or maybe I'll let these pages crumble to dust under lock and key, just in case I want to reopen old wounds in a future where this is all behind us. I don't know. But neither does anyone else. That makes me feel a bit better, I think. Take care. Milo. Never taking the damn bus again. Lost an entire hour of sleep.
Morning.
Oh, fucking hell. Why'd you scare me like that?
Oh, sorry. But I do live here, you know.
Of course I know. Just got used to an empty house, I guess.
I imagine it still feels like that most days. I apologize that I've been so...
Love?
Sorry. Must have lost my train of thought.
I'm surprised you're up. Been sleeping till noon most days.
Just had a bit of energy, I suppose. Coffee?
No, I'm okay. Actually turned down a coffee run with Val and Clementine. It was a very long night.
You want to talk about it?
They already listened to me vent, so you're off the hook this time. Oh, almost forgot. Nick said hello. Well, I did forget, but I just remembered, so...
Who's... Oh, Postmaster Best. Not many people were ever on a first-name basis with him. Besides those that are oblivious to decorum.
You mean Val, right?
Yep. Valencia loved to make that man miserable.
Loves to make him miserable. It's more of a 3-person job these days. I can't seem to go a week without getting a lecture or having some argument with him.
I was under the impression you weren't planning to tell anyone that I'd come home.
That's still the plan, but he just knew.
Clementine or Valencia didn't tell him?
No, I don't think so. Clementine cracks under pressure pretty easily, but she'd fess up if she did. And Val doesn't put much faith in Nick. Some days I think they'd take his post just not to have to put up with him anymore.
I shouldn't be all that surprised, I guess. Postmasters have a way of...
Way of what? Ashley? Where'd you go? Ashley?
What's wrong?
Ugh! Please stop doing that.
Doing what? I'm gonna need a second.
I'm sorry I yelled, love. Just surprised me. Well, worried me, I guess.
Sorry, I don't know.
You don't have to be sorry, Ashley. All I want you to worry about is feeling better, okay?
Seems like a full-time job at this point. I think I need to lie down again. I'm feeling woozy.
I'll be there as soon as I get a shower, okay? Scalding myself sounds amazing right about now.
Sure, babe.
What are we gonna do?
I'm awake.
I hope the shower wasn't too loud.
No, it was fine. The dizzy spell passed, but I can't seem to get my brain to turn off.
What are you thinking about?
Everything. And nothing, really. It's mostly just mental static. It's too hard to focus on any one thought for long.
Sounds exhausting.
It is. Being there for so long fucked me up. What if I can't just be me again? That static is more like 1,000 voices all whispering at once, and I don't know which are mine, if any.
Why did you go back? We spent so long looking for you, and when I thought we'd be together again, you left me.
At Guild Tower?
Yes.
I thought I was keeping you safe. They told me I wasn't human anymore, that I was part of the other.
Don't you think I would have known if you were?
Did you know?
I thought you were a little distant, but besides that...
Exactly, Milo. I didn't notice either until they locked me away. They'd been watching me, or maybe studying is the better word. I'd had incidents on my routes. I thought the post had just finally driven me mad, but it was more than that. I could see things moving in the shadows, but they could also see me and hear me.
I wish you would have told me. I wouldn't have let you suffer alone, you know.
And that's why I didn't tell you. If I was teetering on the edge of insanity, I wasn't going to take you down with me.
I've come a long way since you left. Protecting me doesn't have to be your priority now.
Anyone can see that, Milo. You've changed too.
For the better, I hope.
I hope so too. Oh, sorry, love. But I better ride this wave or I might never get back to sleep.
Okay. Do you want me to sleep downstairs?
No, I want you here. If that's okay.
I won't leave you. Promise. Babe? You keep saying they took you, but you haven't said who.
From the little I was told, the orders seem to have come from pretty high up.
Thank you for joining us on tonight's route. If you'd like to support Station 103, consider joining our Patreon for weekly bonus stories and early episode access. Or check out our Redbubble and coffee shops for Night Post merch and digital story collections. Send a letter to a mysterious acquaintance and tell them about the Night Post.
Got a question for you, guilt citizens. What do wooden overcoats, Arden, Girl in Space, and the Night Post have in common? They're all on Apollo Plus. Maybe you already knew that the Night Post has a Patreon, where every month we release a new mini-episode that you won't find on this feed. Now there's another way to support your faithful pigeons and get bonus content. Apollo Plus is a creator-owned platform offering ad-free episodes, early access, exclusive content, supercuts, and more from dozens of your favorite audio fiction podcasts. In addition to minisodes, bloopers, and early listening from the Night Post, you'll find tons of great stuff from other shows we love on an app that helps sustain and grow the vibrant indie community. 70% of revenue goes directly to creators, so it's a great way to help us keep making the audio fiction you enjoy. You can join Apollo Plus through the Apollo Podcasts app or at apollopods.com. Happy listening!